Welcome back to Beauty Writer Roundup. I'm Jazz. If you didn't know already, I am our beauty editor at Adore. And today we are going to be talking about how I resuscitated my brunette hair after 2 years of bleaching it. And it wasn't just like in between blonde, dirty blonde. It was like blonde, like scalp bleach for maybe like 6 months. And then it all started to unravel. And this is like such a personal story. Like I really was like nervous to write about this on Beauty IQ a few years ago at the brink of, I know we don't want to say the C word, but COVID. When your girl is just feeling, emotional. She did what a lot of people do and like drastically changed their hair. I was like, you know what? This is my chance. I'm not going out of the house. You're seeing me over Zoom and like worst case, if it looks awful, girl, I'm turning the camera off. Like, no one's gonna see it. I did it by myself at home.
What?
Yeah, it was virgin hair at the time, which we know lifts a little bit easier, but it took rounds and rounds of bleach. It looked amazing for like 6 months. And then the inevitable happened, which is breakage, a lot of breakage. That's my story. And today I'm gonna talk about how 2 years on, I have managed to get my hair back to a healthy state where it's growing. Still not quite as like thick as what it was, but it's significantly better than when I first dyed it brunette, maybe like, when was that? A year ago? Okay, so first tip, and this one I feel like your hairdresser will just continually tell you, but invest in a quality shampoo and conditioner. You cannot overlook the importance of this. I definitely did initially. I thought that you could just grab any kind of like supermarket like shampoo and conditioner that said like repair or something on it. But because they're so affordable, they're often packed with lots of fillers and a lot of water. So you're not really getting the same nutritional value out of that for your hair as you would something that's purposely made to treat color damaged hair or bleached hair. With that said, I have a couple of ranges that are kind of my ride or dies. The ranges that I've chosen are kind of a mixture of hydration, but also that repair strengthening. First, the Holy Grail, Kerastase Nutritive. This is a hydration range that is just really supreme. It is packed with niacinamide and a couple of other active ingredients for the hair. This one hydrates my hair like nothing else. This one I use is for finer hair, so it is quite weightless, but if you do have thicker hair, there's an option for thicker hair too. Secondly, Virtue Flourish range. The cool thing about this range, it's specifically made for thinning hair. So if you've got hair breakage, this is going to be your everything. So it's enriched with a patented ingredient, which is 60Ku, which is
Keratin 60Ku.
Alpha Keratin 60Ku. Thank you, Mads. That is going to really get into those like hair fibers and strengthen it from the inside out. So it's really great to encourage new hair growth and also repair existing damage. This whole range is amazing, actually. I believe we have like kind of a starter kit that includes shampoo, conditioner, there's a density booster that specifically you can spray onto your scalp to encourage new hair growth. For a more affordable option, we've got 11. This one is a hydration range again, just easy, nice formula, feels good in the hair, and it's gonna just, really deliver that hydration that your hair is desperate for. Next up, bond building. So you may have seen this term thrown around from time to time and been like, what the hell is bond building? Within your hair fiber, there is bonds. And when we are over processing, bleaching, coloring the hair, those bonds can break, and that basically can cause obviously breakage in your hair, but it also can prevent that new hair growth. Starting with Olaplex number 7 bonding oil, you have likely heard of this or the sister Olaplex, which is at number 3. I want to say. This one you apply to wet hair before you style it, just to sprinkle a couple of drops in your hands. You don't need a whole lot, and you're just going to work that through your ends of your hair. In addition to repairing it, it's also going to really help with those flyaways and frizz that we see when our hair is broken and dehydrated. I use that every day, like to this day, before styling. The next one I've got is a new one by Coco and Eve. So this is a pre-shampoo bond building treatment. You would just apply that to your hair right before you're jumping in the shower to wash it, and that is just going to repair, strengthen, and protect your hair. Our third rec, for the sake of today, I grabbed the treatment, but the ABC range is their bond building range. So this treatment is a leave-in treatment, so you would apply that to your clean, damp hair after you've washed it, and that is just going to work, throughout the day to repair and strengthen the hair from the inside out. Next up, we have hair masks. Now, I'm not going to bore you with too much detail because we have covered this in a previous video, which Maddie will link somewhere here. Usually you'd use a mask maybe once or twice a week if you have thicker hair. When we are repairing our hair, we can actually up that. Whenever you use conditioner, you can just sub in a mask instead of conditioner. The first being the iconic Coco and Eve Like a Virgin hair mask. This has a super nourishing coconut and fig mix, and it has a really deliciously like silky, ignore that little hair, little silky finish. So it's quite thick and quite gluggy in a sense, and it smells really, really good. Next, we have a specific one for hair repair. So this is the Wella Fusion mask. It's more of like a creamy sort of formula. It's a little bit lighter, and it's formulated with Wella's Silk Steel technology, made of silk proteins that go in and strengthen the hair and protect it and revitalize it. Last but not least, I've got the Virtue Flourish mask. Really, really great, again, for thinning hair, fine hair. It's really like weightless when applied and has quite like a creamy texture, but it's not quite as heavy as our Coco and Eve. So this one I would often use more frequently in place of my conditioner, maybe twice a week. There are a lot of treatments, like probably hundreds on Adore Beauty. For the sake of today, I've picked out a couple of ranges that I particularly really love, starting with, again, Kerastase. This has a massive reputation. It is the 8-hour Magic Night Serum. So again, this is infused with plant-based proteins and niacinamide, which is just going to really strengthen and revitalize your hair, especially if it's looking a little bit lackluster or dull. It's just going to give it more shine and bounce, and it's also going to help with frizz and flyaways. Some people like to apply it when your hair is actually already blow dried to kind of like give it that extra bit of nourishment. My preference is to wet hair just because it kind of avoids any greasiness, again, because my hair's quite thin. Second last, Pureology. This whole range is amazing. The Strength Cure range. It pretty much says exactly what it does, but it just strengthens your hair. This one I've got here today is the Miracle Filler Treatment. So this is specifically formulated for color treated hair, and this is a daily heat protecting leave-in treatment. So you're kind of cutting out like an extra step in your routine or combining 2 steps in one, which we love. Finally, I have the L'Oreal Professional Metal Detox Oil. I've actually done a whole Beauty IQ on this range in particular already, which we'll link to for you guys, but I really love this oil to apply after I've washed my hair to when it's damp and it's clean. If you are regularly coloring your hair, what can happen is from the treatments, it can deposit metal particles in your hair, especially if you are bleaching it and it's blonde. That's when you start to see that sort of dull color come through, maybe a bit of green tones. So what this does, and the whole Metal Detox range does, is go into that hair fiber, penetrating really deeply beyond like the surface, and it's going to neutralize those metals in your hair. And it's also a really great one if you're still coloring your hair in between salon visits to just protect it and maintain the vitality. Some final tips, brownie points. One thing that I think I really took for granted is tight hairstyles. I am very guilty of a snatched bun. A really good tip is just to swap out your regular hair ties for silk hair ties. It's just going to cause less pulling and snagging on the hair, which is obviously if your hair is in a fragile state, it's just going to avoid further breakage. Or even better, avoid the snatched bun. Another one on the topic of silk is a silk hair wrap. So these are really great when you get out of the shower or when you're going to bed to keep all your hair together, essentially, and just avoid any frizz. Avoid brushing your hair when it's wet. If you need to brush it when it's wet, grab like a comb or something that's going to be less intense on your hair. And the last one, regular haircuts are your best friend. I know when you're trying to grow your hair out, you're like, I don't want to cut my hair. I just want it to be long. Even if you just get a baby trim every like 6 to 8 weeks, that is going to make a world of difference. And I promise it will be worth it in the long run when you have gorge long hair. Well, not like mine, because mine's on its way, but watch this space. I would love to hear your tips, especially if there's something we haven't covered in this video. Let us know in the comments. We're all in this together. We're all on the hair repair journey, so stay positive. I promise it will return to its former glory. And until next time, see you later.